Here we go. Content Beard 1. 1920. Okay. E4, E5. I'll challenge the center immediately. Oh, he plays a Scotch. Okay. Always interesting to get something out of the ordinary. He plays the Scotch gambit. I was just looking this up. I guess this move is okay. If he pushes the pawn, you push this pawn, basically. He just takes the pawn back. Well, I could turn into an ordinary Scotch, I guess. No, it can't, because this knight blocks my queen, so I can't bring my queen out here after he takes this knight. So I'll have to take back with a pawn. It's not the end of the world, though. I want to keep the d-pawn free to maybe play d5 in the right circumstance. And his e-pawn is hanging, so he has to decide what he wants to do here. He wants to pin it. Yeah, that's a valid thing to do. Let's stop the pawn from coming forward. Get castled. I can take with check and then take here. I could have. I may wonder if that would have worked previously. He goes here. What did I do? I just played that pawn. So instead of that, I take here with check. King takes. The knight goes here with check. I should look at that after the game. Anyway, he put his pawn there. What am I going to do? Let's kick the bishop, I guess. I know. I can put the bishop here, and if he takes it, take back with a pawn, and then my rook defends my knight, so I don't have to keep the queen here to avoid dislocating my g-pawn. The queen is here, so it can take back the knight if he exchanges instead of having to take with a pawn. But if the rook is defending, then my queen is free to move, and I don't have to worry about my g-pawn. He doesn't have to take. But if he doesn't take, he has to find another good spot for that piece. He takes. Okay. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to unpin the knight immediately. Oh, he's going to take my bishop, huh? If I go here, hitting his rook, I can push this pawn, so. Yeah, I don't want to just give him a tempo move there. He can take the bishop there and straighten out my pawns. It's okay. This is interesting because now when he takes here, I don't want to take back with the pawn. And now that's a good move. If I go here, he'll take. I go here, does that help any? Maybe I can come back here hitting the bishop. So when he takes, if he takes with a queen, I can take and then let him take. I don't know, basically I'm losing a pawn here because I can't ever play this move without moving my bishop, without losing my bishop. Ah, he plays there. Well, now I can move my bishop. And the c-pawn is not able to block my bishop anymore. So what I want to do is force his bishop off this diagonal. And put a rook here so I can take. Now he can take too, of course. He's just been trying to maintain the tension as long as possible, but I don't believe he can maintain it any longer. So this frees up my bishop. At the cost of a pawn. Well, I'm playing a good player here, so he's found some clever moves. You should look at his style. I think he's playing in a good style here. Posing problems for your opponent. Yeah, see, this poses a problem. Now my bishop can't retreat here. It can only retreat here, which is okay, but it gets traded there. And so I've lost a pawn here for no particular reason. And that will lose another pawn. Is there a way to do that without losing a pawn? Maybe put the rook here. Or also there was a possible square for the rook. But I thought this looked interesting. Put it here. Attacking the queen. Push this pawn to shield the bishop. Shield the pawn from the bishop. Now it also, I just realized, stops his knight from coming to that square, which would attack my queen. It'd be a bit uncomfortable. So it's a better move than I thought. So he goes there. Yeah, let's go here immediately. Now we can put the knight here, but I can move my queen over to attack his knight. Oh, he can take here. He can take there. That's a bit annoying. That is annoying. And then I can't push that pawn. I was trying to save this pawn so I could push it here and block out his bishop, and now I've lost that. Do I have anything else here? Well, let's save my rook. Yeah, it's going to keep me tied up, but it gives up his knight. Did he overlook that? Oh, he's going to take my rook. Yeah, well. I get rid of this nasty pawn here. So I'm down the exchange. Now he gets, I protect this pawn. So my knight, what should I do with it? 1, 2, 3. He's just up a pawn and the exchange. He's got a knight for the bishop. Okay, let's route my knight around to a better square. He's running low on time. Yeah, I have just enough pieces here to defend that pawn. Yeah, and he has just enough time to save his bishop. Otherwise, that would have been trouble. Let's try and undermine the bishop. Not buying it, is he? He has queen here too, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I can't quite do anything. Can't quite do much. I can go here to hit the queen, but he takes it with the bishop. That's so annoying. Okay, I'll get this pawn. Hoo. Yeah, that's what happens when you're low on time. A lucky break. Okay, he's going to play it out. Well, let's round up his pawns. And he resigned. Okay, well, sometimes it's better to be lucky and good, but he just outplayed me here pretty much the whole game. But there was one point at the beginning, though, I wanted to look at, right? Let's see if I can remember it. Yeah, this bishop is a bit loose there. So what I played here, and he went there. I castled. So sort of once he castles, it's not happening anymore. So I could go here. He takes, and I take here with check. King moves, and then I go here. So I believe he overlooked that one too, and I didn't call him on it. Let's turn on the yeah. So the stockfish here agrees with me. You can take here. He shouldn't take back. He should just go here. And then I should kick the bishop. Okay, what if the bishop just retreats? Oh, the bishop can't retreat because my bishop is here looking at it. Well, that's even more clever than I thought. So he just has to cash out here. Or just develop, because if I take his bishop, he'll take mine. But, you know, I grabbed a pawn and messed up his position, so this is just good for me. Yeah, what's best after taking? Oops, what's best after taking? because it went from minus 2.8 to minus 4. King F1 is best. And then what is my best? Okay, no, it just increases in value for me as time goes on here, it looks like. Okay, well, interesting game. Let's get another one. Let's get a rapid game. I like that Scotch gambit for white. I play it myself sometimes. I'm not particularly good at it, but it's a decent gambit. If you are looking for a gambit to play, that's one I can recommend you can try out and have pretty good chances. It's like, I think with best play, it's still about even. There's no gambit that's really winning, but there's lots of tricks. And you're not losing, even if black plays the best lines, you still have, a good position. Okay, J list. Here, let's start out with knight f3. Okay, we'll play the Reti gambit. Declined. Well, we can go into a Slav defense if I just play d4. That's one way to play this. But I'm going to keep it in Reti lines by playing this way. Fianchetto this dark squared bishop. Keep the tension. And J-list is going to think. Well, there's lots of things that black can do here. I think the most principled response to the Reti gambit is to push the pawn, but that should have been done a move or two earlier. If he fianchettos, yeah, he's not in time. I get my bishop on this diagonal first, so probably the fianchetto is bad. He can just play a pawn triangle, or he can, in Slav style, try and get the bishop outside the pawn chain. Oh, he did decide to push. Okay, so he kind of, I'm not sure if he lost the tempo there or not. Not really. I guess if he plays c5, yeah, then he's kind of lost a tempo, because he could have gone d4 right away, and with the pawn here, he could have gone c7 to c5 in one move. So he lost the tempo, but he shut my bishop in. Okay, I want to counterattack this pawn, but first I need to stop it from coming forward. The counterattack is to push the e-pawn here to threaten to trade it off, but then if it just comes forward, it kind of squashes my whole position here. Anyway, very thoughtful play from my opponent. That was well spotted that he pushed that. I'm not live on Twitch or anything, so he's not hearing what I'm saying. It just seems that way sometimes. I guess the other way to try and undermine this pawn chain is to push these pawns, but he can defend. Yeah, I guess that would be a different strategy. If I were to fianchetto here, put the bishop here, and then push these pawns forward, this would maybe keep him from advancing the b pawn. That might be another way to play this, but I'm playing with the central strategy here. Okay, I'm going to take once, or just leave the tension. I really don't mind if he takes, and I could bring my knight out. Maybe put it on this square. Get some development in to compensate for my somewhat, yeah, it's still a bit annoying that this bishop has been squashed. So I think the way that black played this is actually fine. I guess I'm kind of on the cusp now. I think maybe I should go back to this idea of fianchettoing the bishop. And we will undermine this pawn chain on all sides. We'll try and undermine it from here. Let's erase some of those markings. Try and undermine it from here and also from here. Try and undermine it on both sides. His knight, of course, is stopping that at the moment. Ah! Again, that's a well-spotted move because now that ties my bishop down. Let's just castle. No, there's a danger here, isn't there? If he pushes his pawn, and I take it, then he can push this pawn, which is a bit annoying. Okay, we're going to lock up the center. Not actually my preferred way of playing, but seems necessary here. Okay. So I'm going to have two bad bishops. Is that the plan here? Let's fianchetto and castle king side and see if I can expand on the king side. So this is a sort of like a check Benoni, but in reverse. Seems like he's familiar with this structure. I have the idea of bringing the knight to here and to here too. I'll have to move the knight to allow the f-pawn to come forward in any case. But the knight here, you know, it hits this bishop. It's this pawn. But I want to get castled first before I undertake any more operations. You know, what I'm not allowing for is he could put his knight in here. Yeah, he spotted it too. Yeah, the knight is hitting here, and it's also threatening this fork. So the only move that defends both, well, I could retreat my bishop, but I want to get castled. I don't want to retreat the bishop. The only move that defends both is this somewhat funny queen move. But I should be able to kick his knight back after that. So I think maybe this was, well, we'll see. If it's a waste of tempo. I mean, I had to move my piece too. So maybe it's not such of a waste. Not such a waste. And we'll just see after I kick it back. Who stands better? But also, yeah, it depends on if he has a good follow-up here. If he finds a nice follow-up. Could be a good move. Otherwise, yes, kick it back. Don't want my queen tied down defending a measly pawn. You want your queen free and roaming the board. So he's used up 4 minutes because we started with 10 and we're on move 12. So really taking his time. Maybe I should take my time some more, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on. It's more about your strategic plan. Notice that the knight here prevents me from putting my knight on that square. Discourages me, I should say. Is he going to castle? I'm looking to play this move in any case. Maybe instead of going here, I'll trade off the bishop. And I might do that even if he doesn't castle. If he does castle, I'll probably do that right away because it'd be good to get rid of this piece, and there won't be an attack on the h-file if he's castled. If I do it and he doesn't castle, if he doesn't castle and I play this move, yeah, he castled. Yeah, there was not so much more for him to do unless he decided to go queenside, but there dangers on the queen side too. So now let's take off that bishop. Then we push this pawn, bring the other knight in, get this bishop back to life, get the queen back to life somewhere. Slowly bring my pieces back to life. It's a closed position, so you do have time for maneuvering, but I just dislike it when my pieces are out of play. Yeah, and there's no saving the bishop from being traded. He can take back with a knight, so he doesn't have to take with a pawn. That's interesting. So he is looking to, so he pushes again, I push. He can take that pawn, yeah, so he's looking to win a pawn. Let's take here first. And then we will decide if we care about what's going on this side, or if we have a plan to deal with it. Yeah, I can give up a pawn over here, I think, if I get enough going on this side. So it is possible to play this move right now, except if he takes with a knight. That will stop it. Because takes, and he's got knight and bishop on there, and I just have rook. Yeah. So I think this is looking good for him. And he has this pressure over here. Yeah, so when he pushes his pawn forward, I want to push my pawn forward, but there is a slight awkwardness in my position that prevents that. He's got the bishop and the knight lined up. So this is a bad bishop, but there's someone who said bad bishops defend good pawns. Okay, how about this? I push this pawn over here, he takes. Then I push this pawn. Now I can't push that one, he's got a ton of pieces on it. Okay, we'll try and get my bishop into a better position. Could go something like this. Get the bishop out of the way of the get the knight out of the way of the bishop first, and then get the knight out of the way of the pawn second, and then I would be able to play here. Also, this bishop move allows me to consider pushing here. Yeah, I still can't do it, right? Because he's got both. He pushes, I push. He takes, I take, and the knight will take. Yeah, it's just too much force there. So I can ignore that. Let's lift my queen off the back rank. And if he takes here, take back with the knight. So as to open the diagonal for the bishop again. And then I'll be able to get in f4. Yeah, we're on move 17 and he's only got 2 minutes left, so he's really been extravagant in his use of time. This pawn is still preventing the knight from coming in here. That's important. The queen. Okay, what to do? Where is the queen going? Is the queen going to this square? That would be annoying, wouldn't it, if the queen comes into this square? Okay, I can take this pawn. He can take with the queen, and then I can put my knight here. I don't want to... Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was not thinking. He can put his knight here. I have to defend my... I can put my rook here and defend the knight. So, yeah, I was talking about how he was using his time, but I should have used a little more of my time there, it looks like. Okay, if I put my queen here, it won't be pinned. The knight won't be pinned anymore, and I can just take his knight. So he lifted the rook. That's interesting. So he wants to put the rook there. So let's unpin immediately. Always unpin. Yeah, so this was a bad move. Cost me some time. Let's see if he can find a way to exploit it. If I had a check, I can take, and he takes my queen, and then if I take something with check and then take back, could be interesting. But anyway, I've got to move the knight now. Let's see if he wants to trade queens. I didn't particularly want that, but I didn't see any other way out of my difficulties. Yep. Okay, well, the rook can't penetrate. This is covered by the knight, and this is covered by the bishop. But, yeah, I'm going to have to move the knight, I think, to make any progress here. Okay, protecting entry points of his knight. Yeah, he just ran low on time and panicked. Made a quick move without thinking, but he was playing a really solid game. Let's go. Oh, actually, oh, he was exploiting the pin. Okay, this was once again another clever move. I was wondering for a second why I didn't just take the knight, but there is this pin. So let's go to the analysis board and see. I think if we back up here, 0.5. So when he went here, It's slightly good for me, and I should play king f8. And it's still slightly good for me. And if the move I actually played in the game, I played my rook to here just before he blundered. He's actually slightly better here. And what is his best move here? Instead of knight e1, he should play oh, I played knight e1. He played knight c2. Instead of knight c2, he should play knight c6. Just go back with the knight. And what? I should play rook d2. And it's slightly better for black. Yeah, my position is just a little bit awkward. It's taking me time to unwind. So yeah, he played a very solid game here. Let's see, were there any, if we look at the graph here for just a second, since it got evaluated. No, it was all in a very close range there by my standards anyway. So good game. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.